Hey, what's up, everyone? You are tuned into Creative Calling Podcasts. I'm your host, Briana Christine, designer, illustrator, dancer, entrepreneur, and author of Creative Calling Activity Book. And in this minisode series, I've been going through each one of these activities, jam-packed into this tiny book. It's tiny but mighty because each one of these activities has been designed to jumpstart your career, to make you finish what you've started, to make your dreams come true. All these big fancy words that, no, but I truly believe if you were to go through each one of these and truly, honestly answer them, put them into action, you will guaranteed see massive results. Okay, so recently I have been putting a lot of effort into being a dance teacher, and through this company that I'm working with, we are given an entire online training system. We have access to all these videos and all this training. Now, for those of you who don't have access to something like that don't have a way to keep yourself motivated, because of course my manager is following up with me every week going, did you do it? Have you completed this video? What did you learn this week? How can you implement it? And you can start to feel directionless. That's how I felt when I started in design and illustration, which is why I couldn't go into my second career directionless. But this, after being done, for those of you listening on SoundCloud, I'm holding up the book. For those of you who have been doing this for a while and you feel like, oh my gosh, if only somebody had given me a blueprint, or if only someone would have given me some kind of direction, some kind of idea, this is going to give you what you need. It's going to make you feel like you're out of the dark and that you have ideas and that you always have something to work with, experiment with, and help you grow, or help you start doing whatever you have in mind. I always prefer to be specific, and I'd love to say, like, that cookie business that you started, Joan, that book project that you finally started on, Matt, and these are people who truly have already started the book. That photo project you wanted to work on, Alyssa, like, I want to be specific like that, but I know that those of you watching, you guys are so creative and you're so unique and so talented that I really, I couldn't even begin to imagine some of the things that you guys have in mind for this book or for yourself. And I know that this book is going to be an invaluable tool for you to get there. That's why each week I make a podcast episode that goes along with the activity book that expands upon the activity, what I had in mind when I was thinking about it and writing it down, and really just showing you guys how much good stuff you can get out of your own life when you do this yourself, whether you just do one of these activities here with me in this episode, SoundCloud or YouTube, whichever one platform you're on, and you take that to new heights, or whether you get the entire book. My goal is that just dreams would be coming true every day for each one of you. All right, now that all that is out of the way, let's get into my next activity, which is, well, first I want to go over the quote, because I've been enjoying going over the quotes with you guys since I have this new YouTube channel to show you guys. Harmonious partnerships are created by two complete individuals. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't coordinate every single quote with every single activity, but this is a really good quote. You want to make sure that you are a complete individual yourself if you are going to be in any type of partnership, whether that's a dance partnership, a business partnership, a life partnership. So there's something else for you to chew on outside of the activity, which is, think of a friend that you trust and ask if they will give you constructive feedback on your business process, and write their feedback here. Okay, something I want you guys to keep in mind is that each one of these activities is designed, not hypothetically speaking, how many activities have you done? in your life where you like hypothetically made up a scenario and then you completed the activity based off of this thing that's not even really relevant to your life. I want you to think of something relevant to your life right now and get constructive feedback on that. When I was creating this book, I had 5 friends edit it, and because I know I'm not the best at going through my own stuff, and because I know what I wanted to say, I sent it out to 5 different friends. I broke up each activity and was like, please take 5 of these, read them, tell me if it makes sense, and if there's anything I need to add, expand, change. And during that process, there were certain things that were easy for me to change because I wasn't attached to them, and there were other things that I was attached to and they were harder for me to change. For instance, on the back of my book, when I was writing this little blurb here, I had certain things that I wanted to say about myself. I'll read this to you so that you know what it says, and I don't know if I remember what the original said because it was something like last year, but it says, you know that feeling when you get an idea and it lights up your soul, yet as easily as these feelings come, they soon fade and focus can be lost. I know how you feel. It's not easy to remain strong in your calling to pursue something unknown, uncharted, and sometimes is just plain challenging. And that's coming from someone who considers I lost my own line. And that's coming from someone who enjoys new creative business adventures. Consider this book your anchor that pulls you back to your calling with actionable how-to steps for fulfilling your own creative ideas. Okay, so I remember what it was that my roommate was telling me. On this particular line, it says, that's coming from someone who enjoys new creative business adventures. Now that's really like concise and clear. But before it was like, this is coming from somebody who believes that they're the pioneer in developing creative entrepreneurs of the age, I don't know, I just remember it said something about pioneering new creative entrepreneurship journeys and business adventures or something like that. And my roommate was like, girl, like that is a lot. That's a mouthful. Like, bring it back, scale it back a little bit. And I was like, so like, no, but I see myself as sort of this, like, this is how I see myself. Like, it's just so written, you know. And it's funny because I was formatting, who knows, maybe I even came across this activity because it was already written. But I told myself, you know what? You said to take other people's advice. Because here's the thing, guys, like if you're going to take the time to take other people's advice, I mean, if you're going to give them the responsibility to take it over, why wouldn't you listen to them? There's got to be, whether you believe in God or destiny or whatever you believe in, for some reason you took this piece of your project to this person. And if you didn't believe that that person could truly give you good feedback, why did you do it? Right? Like, there must be a reason they're pointing it out. And even though you may not always agree with the result, I said to myself, I believe that there must be a reason Alyssa is telling me this, and this is going to somehow benefit me, even though I don't always see it today. So that's what I did. And not that anyone's ever commented on the back of my book, I still truly believe that to this day, that there was a good reason. I feel good reading it. I feel like it was probably the only line that actually made sense. Like, probably the rest of it was still a mouthful. So thank you, Alyssa, for helping me, and thank you to all of my friends who helped me edit this book. So here's the second call to action I have at the end of the activity, which is actually several. Implement the feedback you received from your friend this week. Consider its effectiveness, and is it worth continuing to implement? Now, in the case of my book, I can't change that, but there are instances in which you can receive somebody's feedback, and maybe it wasn't the best ever feedback that you ever received, but at least you gave it a shot and you learned something from it. Now consider possibly asking another friend or asking them, that same friend, if this is the way that they intended for you to use the feedback that they gave you. Or I don't usually recommend going back to something that already wasn't working, but if you're that kind of person, to each their own. So that is what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another episode of Creative Calling Podcast. You can find more episodes like this on SoundCloud. You can watch me on YouTube. Yay! I've really been enjoying making you guys this new visual channel that allows me to, for you to see me in a different way and hopefully a better way. And if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns about podcasts, please let me know in the comments. And if you would like to leave a review, go ahead and leave it on SoundCloud. Actually, I'm not on iTunes anymore. Normally I would say that, but I've been taking a break from iTunes. That probably sounds insane because iTunes is like the biggest platform for podcasts. So if you want to know why I did that, you can send me a message. I'll tell you all about it. Facebook. You can find me on Facebook at Briana for Creatives. That's the number 4. Briana spelled Briana. I probably should have been always saying that, but anyways, Instagram at Briana for Creatives. Same thing. 1A, 1N, and 1A, ANA, the number 4, Creatives. And you can find this book on Amazon. You can find it at creativecallingbook.com. You can buy it on Facebook. That's what Matt did. Hey, I will send you a signed copy if you buy it from Facebook. If you buy it from Amazon, you'll get this like really nice matte finish that they do. So thank you again for listening, and as always, until next time.